That maybe, you know, Taquilla and Habibi were there for the ratings. And maybe they are. I don't know. Somebody else said they think they really just like each other because they was outsiders. Y'all let me know, because I guess that's the great debate now that's got started. Do you think Habibi and Taquilla were plants by production to get the mess started? Or do you think that they were like the outsiders and so that's why they connected and joined forces, but it ain't gonna work? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. So hey everybody, welcome back to the Brenda Yvonne channel. Of course, you know I'm your girl, Brenda Yvonne. Here at my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows. Y'all, it's Friday night, so y'all know we gotta talk about Owns Ready to Love. This is season 8, episode 2. It was titled It's Getting Thot in here. Before we get into it, y'all, I need y'all help because the algorithms is not acting right lately with the YouTube. Not just for me, but a lot of our favorite YouTubers. So we definitely need y'all to be hitting them thumbs up buttons, subscribe to the channel, help the channel to grow. Also share where you like to share your content and comment down below, because there was a lot to unpack this episode. So let me know what y'all thought of what's going on with Miss Taquilla, okay? Anyway, y'all to come through my new blonde like Sierra came through her wig at the end, okay? So anyway, let's get to the episode. So we pick up where we left off last week with Brandon and Habibi down to the elimination. Of course, Brandon got sent home. Actually, I thought I saw Brandon in the previews and Habibi was going home, so I was wrong about that. So Brandon, you are not ready to love. Brandon, you know, he was disappointed. He was like, you know, he felt like he wouldn't change anything he did. He wasn't there honest, but you know, a lot of women couldn't deal with the fact that he's recently divorced and he has 4 kids. He is a good looking, tall man. Somebody will deal with it. Okay, somebody will be okay with that and he will find love again for sure. All right, so Nephew Tommy invited them to the brunch, because y'all know they always do that brunch like the second episode. Okay, so the next day we get down to the brunch, right? We see everybody coming in, all the ladies is looking cute, okay? And they sit down and whatever eating. We see them vibing. Marie talks to Taquilla and he's like asking her how she's doing, since she was, you know, having a hard time with being in the bottom last week as she should have been. And she's like, you know, she's feeling better today. She said her hair is straight. She got her lipstick on. She's feeling better today. Okay, Taquilla girl. Side note, y'all, I was dragging Taquilla on Twitter. And when I watched the episode for like second, third time to do this review, I was like, you know what? It's all fun, shade Taquilla, but you deserved every bit of it. Talk about she was going home if Habibi was eliminated. Lies. Anyway, we're going to get to that part. So, anyway, Nephew Tommy comes and he was like, you know, we in the process now. You know, you guys got to, you know, make sure you're really looking for love. And this week, the ladies have control. They're going to meet in the women's lounge and one man will be going home. I was like, cool, this is Habibi's exit episode, so I ain't mad at it. All right, so anyway, Nephew Tommy was telling them they is smart, they is kind, they is important. Okay, so he left. They was like, Nephew Tommy crazy, yo. So anyway, we see Marvin. He said he's a little nervous about, you know, the men being on the chopping block this week. So we see him mixing and mingling. He talks to Lee. Lee is not feeling the dominatrix of it all. She's like, no, she can't get with it, not her thing. He talked to Jessica. Jessica was like, so are your ladies, like, do they get into it? Like, do you go out with girls who are into the, what is it called? SDM? I don't know the acronyms, but y'all know what it is. The dominatrix stuff. So anyway, and he's like, well, some of them, you know, they get into it with him. And she's asking about the shows. Now, I want to know about these shows, because what are you doing? Because if you're dating and you're my man, and then you over here being all intimate with the ladies in the show, like, you going to tell me, like, is you just performing? Like, what's going on, Marvin? Because you cute and all, but yeah, I got questions as well. Okay, so Jessica was like, like, if she you gonna have to treat her real good to be getting into all that. Like, she ain't really feeling that either. Then he talked to Eunik. Eunik was all bashful. He's like, I just like your energy, the way you look down. And she's like, yeah, every time you speak to me, you know, I'm nervous. I don't even know. And so Eunik, she's feeling the dominatrix of it all. Well, I almost said DMX. She's feeling all of that. She won't be tied up. He said use floggers and whips and chains, because they was like, is it 50 Shades of Grey? And he's like, yeah, it's basically like 50 Shades of Gray or 50 Shades of Black, whatever you want to call it. So Eunik, she's feeling Marvin. Eunik is feeling Marvin. I'm with it. I mean, as long as they can agree and get with it, and if she like it, I love it. He's a nice looking guy. You know, if she's okay with his profession, then that's fine. Okay. So then we see Habib. Habib was sitting there with Taquilla and Red, and then she was like, "Oh, how you doing? Oh my God, like how you feel since the last time I saw you, you wasn't, doing too good. You almost got eliminated." He's like, "Yeah, man, if y'all gonna eliminate me, y'all crazy. Like y'all not feeling me. Like come on." And she's like, "Well, who are you feeling here?" And he was like, "You." Y'all, when excuse me, when he said "you" to Taquilla in that moment, I was like, "Yuck." That was. I just felt gross. And so Habib talking about Taquilla is his partner in crime. They're like the same person. And most of the ladies there were not feeling his energy because he's, likes to joke around a lot. I like to joke just as much as the next one. Like, I love to be goofy and playful and all that. But the way you're doing it, Habib, is just off-putting. No one's feeling it at all. We also saw Quinton talking to, I believe, Janelle. He said he really feeling Janelle, and he's interested to see his connection go with her. I said, Janelle, you better get all the men's, okay? And he also was feeling Aries and Lady. I said, okay. So, anywho, then we see Habib talking to Sierra, and he was like, "Oh, so what you do to F up your last relationship?" He do curse way too much, first of all. Like, have a normal conversation, sir. And she was like, "Well, it wasn't just me. Like, I didn't mess it up." And so she was just saying, like, she has a serious side, but she's a damn fool as well. Like, they just say both of them could, like, be playful together, whatever. But Sierra, girl, Habib ain't the one for you, girl. So anyway, I don't really feel like Sierra's man is there. Like, maybe Herbert. I don't know. Anyway, then we see Red talk to Eunik, because Red wanted to circle back about the conversation with Eunik calling him a thought, or saying his job was a thought job. Now, I feel like the comment was inappropriate. Like, it was funny, but it was kind of like borderline disrespectful, okay? So he was like, "Oh yeah, so you said I had a thought job, but you said me and you are in the same field. So then wouldn't that make you a thought too?" So she's like, "What? Like, no, I'm not a thought." So he was like, "Well, how you gonna say I'm a thought if I'm a thought, you a thought, we in the same field?" And she's like, "No, like, I didn't mean for you to take the comment to heart." And so Red said his confessional, like, he not dealing with the disrespect at all. Like, you want to take it to 10, he gonna go 15. Basically, you go low, he ain't going high. Like Michelle Obama said, he going lower. Okay, and so he was like, "Well, if that's what it is, And so he was like, "If you're not really feeling this, like, we can keep it moving." So she was like, "Okay." Like, she wasn't bothered, Red. I'm sorry, she wasn't bothered. She just wasn't interested, Red. And it just came out all wrong, but she just wasn't that into you. But it's okay, Red. You got the connections on the show. It's all good. So then we get down to this group date that Taquilla planned, and she invited Habib, Janelle, Kyra, and Red, and what's that boy's name? Phil. So, I mean, man, not a boy. So soon as they sit down before Janelle gets there, Taquilla gonna say, "Phil, I got a bone to pick with you. I got to talk to you about something." I was like, "Oh, here we go." So Taquilla gonna say, "Yeah, I feel like, when me and you first were talking, we were vibing, but then you pulled away from me." And I'm like, "Girl." Dude. So then he was like, "Oh yeah, because you started talking about sex, and I felt like, maybe we weren't ready to go there to conversation, and that's what happened." And so, and that is what happened, because she's the one that brought sex, and then she gonna backpedal when he really was getting into it and act like she was all disrespected when she disrespected herself. So anyway, Phil wasn't here for all that BS. So then Red was like, "You didn't talk to me about sex." And he's like, "I'm just kidding." So then Janelle came. She's like, "What up, black people?" And so then she sat down. And so then I think Taquilla was like, "Janelle, okay, girl, how you doing? Like, who you connected with? Who you liking out here?" And then she was like, "Well, Red." And so then she was like, "Oh, okay, girl, me too." Janelle's like, "Yes, that's nice for you." Mm-hmm. And so then she was like, something about Habib, like, did you get to talk to Habib? Like, Habib, they're like, "Well, Habib, who you not liking, or who you liking?" And she was like, "Do you connect with Janelle?" Janelle was like, "Well, yeah, I don't know who, he connect with. Me and him didn't really talk like that." And then she was like, Taquilla's like, "I'm sensing some energy here. Like, what's going on? What's going on?" I was like, "Girl, mind your business." So then, Janelle was like, oh, it's nothing. And so then Janelle said that her, and Habib had a moment. I can't remember if she said it or maybe she said it in a confessional and in the moment that he said something off camera that was off-putting, but she didn't want to talk about it. And I was like, girl, what's the tea? But she told us later on. So anyway, they're at this place where you throw the football at the bowling pins. What was it called? What is it called? Ball. I don't know what the place is called, but they did it on Love American Huntsville too. Anyway, you throw a football at the pins instead of a bowling ball. Okay, so Taquilla and Habib go off to the side to do darts and get some food. No, I see Ready to Love is feeding y'all real good this time, okay? So, because y'all know Ready to Love was feeding the people a few seasons ago, okay? They was starving and filming and looking for love. So anyway, she was like, so, how have you done your last relationships? Like, you always on the road, you playing the saxophone, like, how has that worked with you maintaining a relationship? He's like, oh, it didn't. I didn't maintain a relationship. She was like, oh, so you basically was cheating? He was like, yep, I basically would find a new girl everywhere I went. And she's like, oh, okay, well, at least he being honest. And so she's like, why did you cheat on your girl? Like, why'd you break up with your last girl? He said, because she didn't suck, you know what? And y'all fill in the blank. Oh, that man is disgusting. Like, why would you say that on camera? Somebody on Twitter commented on what I said, and they said maybe, Taquilla and Habib were there for the ratings. And maybe they are. I don't know. Somebody else said they think they really just like each other because they was outsiders. Y'all let me know, because I guess that's the great debate now that's got started. Do you think Habib and Taquilla were plants by production to get the mess started, or do you think that they were like the outsiders and so that's why they connected and joined forces, but it ain't gonna work? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. So anyway, he said, but he don't think like that anymore, and that was the red paint stain on his canvas, and he looks at that every day to remind himself not to be like that. And so Taquilla in her confessional said, Habib was is giving a bit much, but she likes the fact that he's honest. All that paint canvas stuff was like baloney. Okay, Habib. Anywho, then we see Janelle and where was Phil? Anyway, we see Janelle and maybe Phil had left. Janelle and Red and Kyra playing the football game, and Kyra's like, how do you play? Oh my gosh. And then Red was like, we gonna make our own rules up, and she was all hugging on her, and Janelle was like, okay, Red, you being too close, you need to back up, and he was like, oh, my bad. So then he was like, he liked the fact that Janelle gave him a little pushback, that means she cares. I'm like, Janelle, you really fighting over Red, girl. Okay. But in the next episode, they showed them playing that little football, and Red had his arms out, and I was like, okay, it might be a little something too, Mr. Red. I don't know, but I don't see what they seeing right now. But they like it, I love it. So anyway, they were playing the game and all that, and then Kyra was like, oh, this is too hard, I gotta go. And then Janelle was like, you see that? She quit and she give up easy. And so Kyra was like, I didn't know Janelle had an issue with me, like, what's the beef, And so I'm like, oh, Janelle, we got to watch her. So then Kyra, or I guess Red picked up Kyra, and Janelle was not liking that at all. Sorry, no, y'all see Janelle gonna stay with a jacket on her shoulders if she don't do nothing else. But anyway, so then we see Habib talking to Kyra, and he was saying something about how he used to be a cheater and he don't cheat no more. He was just saying a lot of off-putting stuff, and Kyra was like, ooh, this is not for me, let me get out of here. So then we see Janelle and Red, and I think Kyra said that. Kyra said she's gonna leave, and her and Janelle was like making their little jokes. And so then she was telling Red about how her dad was a police officer and how he used to, give the guys that would come to her house a hard time and be cleaning his gun and all that. And so he asked her, does she talk to any of her exes? And she said no, but she can definitely get in contact with them, and she could reach out if she need to. He's like, oh, we ain't gonna be doing that. And so they had a good time. Then as they leaving, y'all, Janelle was like, oh yeah, before that, she's like, yeah, I can smell her on you. I can smell her on you. I was like, girl, y'all are on this dating game show, so it is what it is. And then when they were leaving, right, Janelle was like, oh yeah, see, I got the real one. She got the fake one, but she young though. She was giving very much Carmen. She was giving very much Carmen from Potomac season, okay, Ready to Love. So anywho, then we get down to another group date at what's that girl name? Aries' house. So Aries had a group date at her house. She invited Herbert, Chris, what's the other girl's name? She invited Sierra and Jessica, I believe. So Sierra and Jessica came down in their denim outfits. They was giving denim on denim. So Herbert came, he was like, okay, everybody had on the denim. He was like, oh, Sierra had on the adult Gap version. She had on the Gap women's. So then they were all talking and everything. And so, what's her name? Not Janelle, Aries. I don't know why I always want to call Aries Janelle, y'all. Aries was telling Chris, like, yeah, I didn't get my background, my DNA, 32andMe and Ancestry.com. And, I didn't find out I got some Nigerian in me. And he's like, oh, yeah, it's good to have Nigerian in you. I'm like, oh, y'all need sexual innuendos. But then you get mad when a man want to take it there. Anywho, then Sierra was talking to Herbert, and she was like, yeah, I feel like you give very much, erotic energy. You give a lot of erotic energy. I got to see it. And then he was like, what? Like, how am I giving erotic energy? She's like, I was thinking about you the other day. He's like, oh, so you thinking about me with erotic thoughts? So then she's like, no, I'm not like that. And he was like, I thought I was giving very much, conservative. So he was like, then they got a topic of like sex before marriage. And then she was asking him about sex, is he in a sex before marriage? Everybody want to know about sex before marriage. So he's like, yeah, he would definitely do some sex before marriage. And then she was saying like, yeah, like, sorry y'all, I was shaking my leg. Typically she would do sex before marriage, but lately she's been on like her healing journey and she's been practicing abstinence. I forgot how long, maybe a year or so, she said. And so, at first, that conversation got interrupted because other people came in there and she was like, ooh, Saved by the Bell. But then Herbert's like, no, you finna finish this conversation. So that's what she was explaining all that. And so Herbert is like, he ain't saying we got to, have sex before marriage, but he ain't saying we got to wait either. He was using some word in the confession that sounded like a made-up word, but I can't even pronounce it to mess it up right now. Anyway, and then we get to, we see Jessica talked to Herbert. She's like, yeah, you give real like ladies, man. You give a real ladies, man. Herbert's like, why they say I'm giving ladies, man? Now, if I would have been ladies, I wouldn't be here. I would be with the ladies. But I could see where they're getting that from, Herbert. I could see where they're getting that from. Because when you was in there singing, I was like, okay, I see what the ladies are saying. Because Sierra was saying he giving big teddy bear. And I was like, yeah, I see that. I see that. Now, when he had the grainy beard and the confession, I wasn't really feeling that. Okay. Then we saw Aries talking to Quinton, and Quinton was asking her like, he was saying he really likes her, she's very flirtatious, she has good eye contact and all that, and he was asking her, was she okay dating someone younger, and she's like, well, we got like a 10-year age difference, and she was like, maybe I didn't know before if I would be, but now like talking to you, it's definitely, she's opening up to the idea of seeing like, it's a possibility that she could fall for someone that's 10 years younger than her. I'm like, you better get your man, girl. Age ain't nothing but a number. He said he liked older women. Quinton did say that in his confessional. So who knows, maybe he'll go somewhere. I don't know. He also liked Lee. He also liked Janelle. So we gonna see. Then we saw Chris talking to Jessica, and she was asking him about the whole arranged marriage thing. And he was saying how like he is not really with that, but in his culture from Nigeria, like that is a thing. Side note, he was talking to somebody, I don't know if it was Jessica or somebody else, and he was saying how English is a second language. He speaks, I don't want to mess it up. Is it Yoruba or whatever, Nigerian people usually speak? No shade to Nigerians. If I pronounce that wrong, y'all know what it is. So anyway, he was saying like his family was always trying to, hook him up in arranged marriage, and they didn't like the fact that he wasn't really with that. He got a lot of pushback from them. Like it was so bad to the point where they were sending him 2 twins to pick from, and he was like, nah, he ain't with the arranged marriage of it all. Okay, so then Herbert walks here out. Quinton helped Aries clean up, how that go. So then we get some one-on-one dates. So we have Lee goes on a date with Quinton, and Habibi goes on a date with Sierra. Okay, so let's go through Lee and Quinton's date first. Y'all know I don't like to jump back and forth scene to scene. So Lee and Quinton's date, it was really giving it was cute. They both look good. They both into fitness. They, very, nice looking couple if they were to make it themselves a couple. Lee basically was asking Quinton, you know, how would you feel about me, because, you know, I be posting stuff on Instagram because, you know, my body, I'm into fitness, and people might be, you know, looking at my legs, whatever. Like, how's that gonna make you feel? And he's like, oh, I'm not tripping. Like, people want to look at my lady. Like, as long as I know I'm taking care of business, you know, in the bedroom, outside the bedroom, all that. Like, you mine. I'm not tripping on that. And so then they were sharing food, and he was saying, she's like, are you allergic to shellfish, right? You allergic to shrimp? And he's like, yeah, I'm very allergic, so I can't give you a kiss today. She was like, oh, you wouldn't get no kiss anyway. I said, I know that's right, girl. Make him wait. Although I would have probably kissed him. Anyway, then, okay, so they had a good day. Like I said, they was like, oh yeah, everything's lining up. We match and all that. Cute. Okay, let's go down to Sierra and Habib's day, right? So Habib come. And then he's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm looking good, right? I'm looking good, right? Just bigging himself up, right? So then he looking at Sierra's nails, and he was like, oh, did you do your nails yourself? And she's like, oh no, I got these done. He said, oh, you paid to get that done? Like, he over there cursing, like, beep, beep, that's what's up. So he was like, yeah, I'm very judgmental. Like, ladies got to come with their nails done on a date with me. I'm like, sir, then you need to pay to get these nails done. How about that? So then they gets to talking, and she was saying, like, she want to get to know more of his his serious side and all that. Like, you know, he's always joking around and all that. So then they got into a little bit deeper, not really deeper, really. He was like, okay, so how's your family like? And then she was talking about her mom, Miss Leslie. Miss Leslie is still, she's like, I talk to my mom like every day. He's like, oh, you talk to your mom every day? I was like, why do you say it like that? Like, some people talk to their mama every day, okay? Not all people, okay, but some people do. So, then she's like, yeah, Miss Leslie is very alive and well. She look good. She smell good. She like a bag of money. Like, she doing her thing. And so he's like, okay. And then he was like, where are you from? Like, you seem like you mix. And she's like, oh no, I'm blackity black. I am Creole. Like, my people, basically our people from New Orleans or whatever, or that area. And he was like, okay, like, we got an effing vibe, and whatever he was saying. They bleeped it out and saying his family was from, I think, St. Martinsville, and they was talking about eating crawdads when they was young. Okay, so that's why he appropriating culture, y'all. Y'all see he ain't from no Middle Eastern country, as we knew. I think somebody said his real name was Travis. Why he can't go by Travis? But anyway. So she was like, yeah, I used to be peeling crawfish. So I got to the point where I learned to do it at 4 years old because my mom was taking too long. Like, she wasn't getting it done. So then he was like, he said, like, F your mama or your mama ain't ish or something like that. And then so she was laughing, but then when she caught it, she was like, wait, what you say? And then he was like, oh, it's just a joke. And then she was like, And the commercial, she's like, you don't do Miss Leslie. Like, you do not talk about Miss Leslie. That is not it. That is not it. So when they had flashbacks of their day, she was like, yeah, you do not do that. Like, you don't say nothing about my mom. Like, keep my mom name out your mouth. She was like, like, this date is it's over. Like, she's like, check, please. Like, she was over it. And I don't blame her. Like, that was a horrible joke. It's not even the joking. It's that the jokes are bad, Habib. Okay, so then after those 2 dates, we get down to the ladies' liberation. Now, Sierra had her platinum blonde short wig on before we left the date with Habibi. Now, when we get down to the ladies' lounge, I see this lady behind the bar pouring drinks with a blonde wig on. So I was like, oh, they got a bartender back there. I was like, who is that? So then it took me, I was like, Habib with the elimination date. Like, who is that? It took me a minute to realize that was Sierra also, okay? So anyway, the lady sit down, and Nephew Tommy was like, y'all done been on these dates with these gentlemen, and, the best thing to do is be honest, because it's only going to hurt yourself. I'm like, why they not going to be honest? But, maybe some of them got a line problem. I don't know. So he was like, how was the week? They talking about their dates and their group dates, and he's like, okay, so who y'all feeling? So Lee says she's feeling Quinton. They got a lot in common with the fitness of it all. Aries says she's kind of feeling Quinton. I think somebody might have mentioned Herbert. Janelle said her and Quinton been talking on the phone real bad for hours and hours. Eunik says she's feeling Marvin because, girl, he got the books. Janelle was like, what books? She was like, he got the book books. He got the erotic novels of it all and all that good stuff. And so then he was like, okay, Miss Taquilla, who you feeling? she was like, Habib, he's just honest, he's in school for IT and he's a DJ and he travels and he takes care of his kids. She said kids with an S. Didn't he only mention one kid last week, y'all? He mentioned like a 9-year-old, 11-year-old or somebody. He didn't say kids last week. He said kid. But anyway, it's neither here or there. So Sierra was like, girl, Janelle was like, Habib is, what she called him, authentic clown, and this is not daycare. I was like, oh, but she's right. He's a clown. He's basically a clown. So then Taquilla was looking offended, like, what? And so they was like, nah, Habib, nah, nobody's feeling Habib. Okay. So then, what's her name? Kyra said she's feeling red, but he might be for the streets. We'll see. Okay. So then, what's her name? Taquilla was like, I don't understand why, the ladies not really giving Habib a chance. They haven't really talked to him. They haven't got to know him. Ladies like Janelle. So then Nephew Tommy was, okay, ladies, who you not feeling? So let's see. Somebody said Lee was not feeling Marvin. And she don't want to be tied up in the basement. Not for her. Jessica was like, yeah, he got the stuff under his bed besides money and birth certificates, and I don't know about that. But she's like, but I'm so nosy, I don't want to see like what he got going on, what it is. So she interested in see what he doing, but not necessarily him as a person. What it sounded like, she was making her jokes. She was funny. I like Jessica. So then, who else did we have? Sierra was like, Red, he seemed cool, but, I don't know. He seemed like he trying, but I don't really know. And then Aries is like, Habib, it's like a 10-year age difference. And, he didn't say nothing off-putting to me, but it just wasn't my thing. Like, I just don't feel it with him. And so Sierra was like, yeah, he is just disrespectful. He's, he said some stuff about my mom. We was having a conversation and he was like, F my mama and all this. And it was a joke, but it was just like off-putting. It was just out of pocket. And so then Taquilla just sitting there like, And so then Janelle gets to the part about what Habib said to her, and she was like, yeah, Habib said some disrespectful things to me when we first met. He said, oh, them titties so big, I'm gonna suck on them next time I see you. I was like, sir, like, ew. He just gives me the creeps, y'all. Habib literally gives me the creeps. Like, he making my skin crawl right now. So they was like, girl, what? So Taquilla's like, And so, I think right before that or right after that, they had got on topic with Quinton because somebody said they wasn't feeling Quinton. I think it was Kyra. Yeah, that's another heifer we got to watch. So Kyra said she wasn't feeling Quinton because, she heard that he only want to date the white girls. And so they was like, girl, what? And so Taquilla was like, And then Sierra was like, girl, what? And so then Taquilla was like, yeah, he did say that. And Kyra's like, I don't understand that because, like, I'm, out of everybody here, I'm the closest thing to that as far as personality goes. I guess she considered herself to be like a white girl. Is that what she's saying? I don't know. So then they was like, girl, what? And so then Janelle was like, no, she ain't really buying that. Like, that's a rumor that her, Taquilla and Kyra then started. So Taquilla was like, yeah, he definitely said that when I asked him, and it's 10 bad bees right here, so I don't understand what he's saying. Yeah, I asked him, who he feeling in the process, and he said he wasn't feeling nobody here. So production wrote the clip, and I had to listen to it for the third time through to realize that she was lying. Now, she told a bold-faced lie because she said, are you feeling me? She didn't ask him, and y'all run the clip back if you're not sure. Run the clip back. She said, are you feeling me? He said, oh, no, right now I'm not really feeling anybody here. So I'm sure he said it like that not to offend her because he wasn't feeling her. Okay, but she didn't say, are you feeling anybody here? She said, are you feeling me? And he's like, no, I'm not really feeling anybody here right now. Okay, so I believe they lying. Because at first I was like, well, maybe it could be a possibility. We got to get to the reunion to really get it down to know if he really did the white girls or not. I was going to have y'all get on the line and research his Instagram to see was them exes white or black so we can get to the real tea if Quinton liked the black girls or not. But we don't even need to do all that because Taquilla lied, okay? So then they had gotten to it about Habib. And so then Janelle was saying like, you just mad because, you know, they don't like you. And I guess talking about Quinton and all the, you know, the other guys. And so then she was like, Taquilla's like, girl, what? Like, it ain't even like that. Like, they not even liking you. And so then they get into a big old back and forth. And Taquilla said something to the effect of like, oh, they only like you because your skin color. And I was like, are we really going to do this season? Are we really going to do this? Like the DC season? Really? And really, Janelle and Taquilla's skin color ain't that much different from each other, first of all. Like, that was dumb. Like, Taquilla just looked dumber and dumber. So they just got into a whole back and forth, y'all. And then production came out before Taquilla even stood up. Because the production said, we ain't fighting today, okay? And when, side note, when Janelle was talking about the disrespectful comment that Habibi made, Nephew Tommy was really, really pissed, y'all. He was like, what? What did he say? That's just stupid. That's just stupid. Y'all, when they say something disrespectful to you, you tell me. You tell Nephew Tommy right away. You tell me. Now, Nephew Tommy is trying to get ahead of the devil, in the words of David, from the Houston season, because as every season we get an inappropriate comment from the fellas and Nephew Tommy finds out too late and don't really handle it. So he's trying to get ahead of the devil this season, but you're still behind, Nephew Tommy, but that's okay. But you know, he took it seriously, but you know, this happens every season, Nephew Tommy, I'm sorry to tell you. So he was like, y'all gotta let me know. He was like, ew, who says that? And that's what we all saying, Nephew Tommy, who says that? So like I said, the girls got into it, y'all. Production came out there before Taquilla could stand up, and she was like, Taquilla, come on. So then she stood up. Janelle's like, oh, you standing up? You standing up? Taquilla's like, yeah, I'm about that life. I'm about that life. Taquilla's like, Janelle's like, yeah, I'm about that life too. Come on, show me you about that life. So both the girls stood up. Taquilla hollering and was like, yeah, I'm about that life. And then I guess Jessica must have looked at her wrong or said something. She's like, yeah, you can get it too. And then Janelle's like, y'all need to get her. Y'all need to get her. And so then you can hear Taquilla saying when they cutting away and they just showing the house or wherever they was at, saying, if Habibi go home today, send me home too. I said, hold her to it. Send Taquilla home because Habibi went home. So next episode, we need to see Taquilla self-eliminating, because you said you going home if Habibi go home. So next episode, I better see Taquilla self-eliminate with her lying self. So anyway, you know, Nephew Tommy, they came back. She was like, okay, Taquilla, you good, girl. You know, we as black women, we respect each other. Nephew Tommy, okay. So then he was like, okay, y'all gonna have to, you know, let these gentlemen down easy in love. Okay, so they took him on a date. Sierra took out Habibi. Sierra was bigging herself up. Habibi was like, who was this at that table? Because he didn't recognize Sierra with that blonde wig on. Kyra took Red out. Kyra's like, you know, we'll talk about Kyra and Red first. Okay, so Kyra tells Red, you know, the ladies, you know, they deliberated. Red likes Kyra, by the way. He was like, yeah, her parents did a good job with her. So he liked, you know, they had little games in she's competitive. So, then she's like, yeah, you know, the ladies feel like, you know, you're being a little too serious, which I didn't really see that, but you know, they want to see more of your fun side. And so she told him, you are ready to love. Okay. Then on the other side of town, we get Habibi and Sierra. Sierra was like, yeah, that other date we had, and you was talking about my mama, like that was very off-putting. He's like, yeah, the energy was off. She was like, yeah, I didn't like that. You disrespected my mom. And he was like, yeah, you know, me and the ladies, we talked about it, and you know, we all said you fine and all, but Habibi ain't fine to me. I'm sorry, he is not fine. So he was never cute at all, at all. So then she was like, basically the ladies liberated, and you are not ready to love. And so Habibi got sent home as he should have been. And that was the end of the episode, y'all. Let me know what y'all thought about it in the comments. It definitely was a good episode, I thought, especially for episode 2. Let me know what y'all think of Taquilla in the comments. Y'all think she gonna self-eliminate it? Probably not. What y'all thought about Habibi and all that going on and Red. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll talk to y'all again soon. Bye.